Hello, my name is Matthew Ware, and for myself and the staff at the Conacher Institute, happy Father's Day. For today's virtual programming, we're flashing back to last week, when I was joined by volunteer Jacob Davis to learn about fire starting using flint and steel. Jacob, you've been doing this a long time. Flint and steel is a very common term, but tell us how this is going to work.
So flint and steel is just that. So I have here a nice brittle piece of flint, a very hard piece of stone that has a nice little bit of an edge to it. Obviously, a lot of people know that whenever flint strikes something like steel, which I have a steel striker here, that creates sparks. So by knowing exactly where to sort of strike and how to hit it, you can create a nice shower of sparks, but that shower of sparks isn't going to be enough to get a fire started. For that, you need something that's going to be able to collect that spark, to harvest that spark, and build that spark into something. So that's why I have charcloth. So charcloth, you can see this little black piece of cloth I have in my fingers, is basically just cloth that you've baked, is the best way I can describe it, to become pure carbon. And now that it's pure carbon, it will be able to catch a spark coming off the flint, and hopefully I'll be able to then kindle that spark into a little bit of a bird's nest made of tow, which again, we'll get to that, but I'll go ahead and get started. Again, I want to place my charcloth right where I know those sparks are going to be, and then, using my patience, start striking. And just like that, I was able to collect that little bit of a spark. So now that that's smoldering, I can add that to something that's going to be combustible. So this is tow. Basically, it's a byproduct of linen production, and it is incredibly combustible. So just by adding a little bit there, I can breathe this into something that will hopefully get a fire started for me.
So while you blow that, of course, you would have your small pieces of kindling, your flammable materials to add this to. Right now, I just want to demonstrate it. By increasing the oxygen, you're increasing the heat at rate of combustion. Being able to make a fire is something that a skill everyone's going to have, from child to adult. Without a fire, you can't cook. Without a fire, you can't signal for help. Without a fire, you can't stay warm. So today, building a fire is something you might learn at a camp group, but this is something that everyone's going to know.
So right now I'm creating an awful lot of smoke.
I've seen this done 1,000 times. Sometimes it works, the first time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort. I find when I'm making them, by trapping that heat in there, it has more chance of increasing that combustion. Of course, doing it this way does hurt the hand, so don't try this at home.
So because you are creating a lot of heat, creating a lot of smoke, sometimes it's better to sort of have a reed or a straw that you can set up basically your tinder bundle to blow into so that you get combustion. But being able to have sort of, to get a fire started, obviously is an essential tool. Today though, we think about having, sort of a lighter in our pocket, having matches, something like that. But a flint and steel kit obviously is before all of those were, created. So matches can get wet, lighters can malfunction, but as long as you have, some nice steel and some nice flint, you can always get a fire started.
There are some great sources for these online and more how-to videos. It is a great skill to practice at home with your family. Be careful, flints were used for spear points and arrows. At one point they are sharp, so be careful when you're striking it that it's not your knuckles scraping. As Jacob said, you can make your own charcloth, and that tow, any flammable material can do. This is a great project to do at home with your family and learn a new skill that might save your life one day. Thank you for joining me here today at the Conacher Institute, Jacob, and we'll see you again soon.